Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with another Worth a Purchase where I play a game for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself. Today I'm taking a look at Immortal, which is releasing digitally on the Switch this week. But this is Physical Paradise, and I only care about games with physical releases. If you do too, well, subscribe. And of course that means this game does have a physical release, but not the kind you're going to be finding in your local Best Buy or your GameStop. It's got a very obscure release, which I will detail later in this video, but I've linked it down below if you want to grab it. So this is just a quick one. There is a lot to this game, but also not a lot by its very nature. It is an idle game, and I don't mean like a Japanese idol, I mean more like bone idle. A game you play with half an eye on. You have it on in the background and then come back to it when you've finished a task. Following on from Idle Devils, this one has a mythical Asian theme to it, and there is a story about, well, nothing really worth talking about. It serves just to get the gameplay going, which is to assemble a squad of heroes and send them into battle, fighting tougher and tougher enemies, increasing their stats and equipment, upgrading your base, and then fight even tougher monsters. And all of the battles are done automatically. You have no control over the fights whatsoever. The characters play themselves, and the only thing you control is when to stop, when you're going to cash out on this run. Early on, you'll definitely want to keep an eye on things, especially if you are on levels you've never completed before. But this game is about the grind. About going back to earlier levels and grinding for materials. And you can put it on auto. Your team will happily go from stage 1 all the way up to the top without you doing anything. Unless you get wiped out, of course. Your Switch is likely to go into sleep mode because it'll think you're not active. You have lots of missions to accomplish, you can follow the story, but there's plenty of side quests to do, which will help you attain more things. It's just about getting the numbers bigger. You can recruit different warriors, and leveling them is super weird. There are so many layers and walls between that, at least it feels like it. It doesn't help that the interface is incredibly awkward. You can tell it was designed with PC and maybe mobile more in mind rather than with a controller, because there's no way this was designed for consoles from scratch. The most difficult enemy in this game is the interface. It is not a welcoming one, and you have to fight it every step of the way. It's almost counterintuitive, but if you can get over that, there is a lot in here. Despite the simple gameplay, it's really overwhelming the amount of things going on when you're outside a battle. There's crafting equipment, selling it, upgrading your base, which will allow you to cultivate more materials, and there are so many different kinds of materials to use, attacks to upgrade. It kind of feels like it doesn't need to be this in-depth, but that's what makes this a long game. I've been playing for like 4 hours at this point, and I'm only at the second biome. And there's loads of biomes, I can see them through the clouds. There is a lot here. The grind is very strong with this one, but it's okay because you have to leave it up to the game to do it. I mean, I was literally writing this part of the script while the game was going on in the background, which begs the question, like, what's the point? Well, it is a passive kind of experience. It is something to have on in the background and come back to between tasks. Like, how many people have YouTube up on their second screen while they're supposed to be doing work? Well, this is just like that, just it's as interactive as you choose it to be. So it is a game you can quietly sink hundreds of hours into when you really haven't. Probably only a handful of you being fully engaged. It's nice to come back to and see your progress, see your team grow. Is it repetitive? Oh yes, and it's definitely not going to be for everyone. And it is unusual for me, but as one of the few idle games that I've played, it's been quite pleasant. Especially once you get past the tutorials and the game just lets you get on with things and you finally come to terms with how the game works, even if it is just a lot of shallow busy work. The art style is appealing. At first I thought it wasn't as, shall we say, wobbly as Idle Devils, but the wobble comes to town eventually. The music is nice too. Now, the physical release for this is very simple, but it's not easy to get. So in North America and Europe, this is not getting a physical release. It is digital only. In fact, there is only one place you can get a physical release for this, and that is in Asia. In Singapore, there is going to be a physical release on Nintendo Switch. And, best of all, it will have an English cover, and it will play in English, readily importable to be played on any region Nintendo Switch console. And best of all, unlike the digital release where you have to purchase the DLC, this physical comes with the DLC on the cartridge, hence why it's labeled a deluxe edition. It is published by Leoful, who tend to publish some very obscure stuff. However, Idle Devils, this game's predecessor, has been a popular import, and I expect this one to do the same kind of numbers. If you want to import this physical release, check the links down below in the description and pinned comment. You can order from VGP, who will ship it worldwide for free on orders over 75 Canadian dollars, that's 55 American bucks, or Play Asia, who, if you click my link for there, you can get 5% off with my discount code Jordan2026, but you must click my link first. Otherwise, it won't work. If it still doesn't work, you can use my imports database, which I have linked below. Go from there instead, and yeah, any purchase made via my link, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Would I buy this myself? I am not sure. I think there is an audience for it, but not really me. From an outsider's perspective, it seems okay. While it's an idle game, there is still lots to get involved with, and a lot of content too, like seemingly a bucket load. I can't imagine how many hours it will take to get to all of the locations. If this feels like something you would enjoy, this style of game, then maybe give it a go, or Idle Devils, depending on what kind of theme you'd be into. Maybe this will be your first idle game to try, and see if it's something you would enjoy. If you want to import this physical, you can do so with the links below, and I hope you'll have a fantastic day. Take care.